Everyone, welcome to this week's reading of The Wizard and the Frog. We are on the ninth and final chapter. This is the end of this one. And if you remember, in my previous videos, I mentioned this book was going to be the first of a three-book series, and it only ended up being one because uh, reasons explained. But basically, writing humor is hard, and um, it kind of just got pushed to the back burner. So it does leave kind of with a cliffhanger. Not really. This story is resolved, but it kind of sets up for what the next book was going to be. And I do plan on finishing the series. Hopefully by the end of the year, we will see. Anyways, we'll just jump right into it. So, chapter 9, An Unexpected Ending. I was on my back, staring up at the sky. That seemed to be the normal result every time we traveled by magic. I got up, saw Dormouse petting the unicorn, though she seemed to be distracted by something. What's happening? I asked. She's disoriented, the elf answered. I thought Master Zalor said unicorns weren't affected by magic. Most magic, Master Zalor's voice answered. I turned to see the old wizard approaching us. And that is true. It isn't this transport spell that is affecting her. It's my spell. He smiled and patted the unicorn's muscled neck. She's more beautiful than I could have imagined. Good work. Let's take her to the stables for now. Dormouse guided the animal there, and I walked beside the old man. Now that we have the egg and unicorn, you can turn Primaria back into a human? I asked. Absolutely, he answered. When? Now? As soon as we get to my office, he replied. Dormouse handed the unicorn off to the stable boys, and then we went inside and followed Master Zalor to his office. Dormouse pulled Primaria out of his robes and handed her to me. She looked up, the anger less than before, but I could tell she wasn't over the whole ordeal. Where should I put her? I asked. On the floor, unless you think you can hold her body in your hands when she changes. That imagery made me smile, and I sent her gently on the floor, then stepped back next to Dormouse. Master Zalor pulled a book off his desk, flipped through a couple of pages, then stopped and ran his finger over the text. Nodding to himself, he looked at Primaria and spoke something unintelligible. There was a flash of light and some smoke, and then Primaria was standing there, human again. I rushed forward and embraced her, crushing her tightly against me. She returned the hug, but there was less enthusiasm on her end. I pulled back and looked at her. What's wrong? I asked. What's wrong? She repeated. What's wrong, you ask? Well, Jack, I've been a frog for the last few days, and on top of that, I've been carried around like some sort of burden. I'm sorry, but I can't do this anymore. I thought I wanted to marry you, but this little adventure has shown me that you aren't ready for that. Maria wiped a tear from her eye and shook her head. I'm sorry, Jack, but I'm leaving. And just like that, she left the room and disappeared into the hall. I stood there, more than slightly confused, but also not really surprised. Maria overreacted all the time. I just needed to give her some space, and in a few days, she'd be right as the rain. I looked at Master Zalor, who looked like he felt a bit awkward seeing Primaria's outburst. Don't worry about her, I said. She'll calm down. I hope. Well, how did you do the spell without the egg or the unicorn? I asked. Oh, right. I didn't need them as components to the spell, he answered. Do what now? Yeah, I just wanted to be rich and have a unicorn. I mean, who wouldn't want to ride around on a unicorn, right? I looked at Dormouse, who shrugged. We risked our lives for those things, I said, still expecting the old wizard to say he was joking. Oh, I know, and I appreciate that. I'll be the talk of the academy for years to come, all thanks to you two. This came for you. He handed me a folded parchment. I took it. Doubly confused now, I left Master Zalor's office. Dormouse followed behind me, and we left the academy behind, stopping at a tavern. I needed a drink. Did we really just do all of that for nothing? I asked. Sounds like it, the elf answered. We sat at a table and drank in silence. Still couldn't believe that old bastard had tricked us. But what could we do? Did we even need to do anything? I shook my head and unfolded the parchment. It was a letter from Lord Skrin, short and simple. Jack, please make haste. The vampire has taken more of our children. Lord Skrin. What is it? Dormouse asked, watching me. I downed the rest of my drink. The last few days had taught me anything. It was that things never went according to plan. That didn't mean I didn't need a plan, of course. I did, especially considering the type of creature we would have to face. Trolls, goblins, minotaurs. Those were child's play in comparison. I stood up, cracked my neck. Let's go hunt down a vampire, I answered. The end. And that's it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I am going to write 2 more for that series. I'm trying to get it done this year. I had lofty plans of doing 15 books this year. It's not probably not going to happen. Probably closer to what I did last year, which was about 6. Um, just lots of things have come up and kind of stolen my time away. So, um, not complaining, just life in general. But, so yes, I do plan on writing the second, third to those. Hopefully this year. If not, for sure next year. Um, so thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had some laughs, and I'll see you not this coming week. We're going on a long weekend vacation, so I won't be around to record a video. But when we get back, I will start up reading on a new book. And so keep your eyes peeled for that. Thanks again, and see you guys in 2 weeks.